Welcome to Level Up and Live, the podcast that dives deep into the power of mindset and manifestation to help you achieve your wildest dreams. I'm your host, Sean Myers, joined by my co-host, Ewan Heinemeyer. And today's topic is all about the profound truth. You get exactly what you think about. So, what have you been thinking? Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Join us as we explore the incredible influence of our thoughts on our reality and how we can harness the power to create the life we desire. Get ready to shift your mindset and unlock your full potential.
Today we're talking about focus, and this should excite everybody because a lot of people are looking for silver bullets to get what they want in life. We all have these visions and we have goals that we want to achieve. And we often look at the results that we have in our lives and we're not where we want to be. And that can be daunting. Is it something broken from within? Is it just the way I am? Is it my genetics? Is it just my luck of the draw in life on where I am as far as results go and reaching the dream that you want to have or a goal? And the answer is no. It's none of those things. You could take a person with very little skill set, talent, IQ, and if they are focused on one thing, they will get it. They'll get it. If that's all they focus on, man, think about a baby. A baby gets what it wants. It doesn't even speak English, right? It's very focused on getting food and it makes it happen, right? And so today's episode is about focus. You get what you think about. Brian Tracy, if I was to think of someone who says this the most, I love this man. He's in his 80 plus now, and the guy still exercises and preaches the same message, but he talks about you get what you think about most of the time. And I love that because it is a silver bullet. It's a superpower. If you can get rid of the distractions, get rid of all the other dopamine sucks, and focus on what it is that you want and don't let go, you will have it. I was 18 years old and I'm in Scotland. I see some people from America come over to help my dad's church, and I hang out with them, love hanging out with them. And I see this vision. I want to be where they are. They're in America. They're going to university, and it just seems like a paradise to me. I'm in Scotland. It rains a lot. It's cold. And I see these kids, coming over. And I thought to myself, I'm going to go there, which is ludicrous. I didn't have a lot of money. I was not good in school, did not have good grades. Didn't have any business coming over to America to go to university, but it's all I thought about. I said, I'm going to go there. And I look up 18 months later and bang, I'm in America. Freshman year, Harding University in Arkansas. How did I get there? How did I do it? I honestly, to this day, I could tell you the steps. I don't know how it happened. There's a lot of money involved. I had to talk to people. I had to ask people to, there was this multimillionaire guy that my dad knew, and I wrote a letter to him. He sponsored me. Mom and dad, they saved up some money. I saved up some money, and bang, it happened. It should not have happened. Visas, all the legal stuff we had to go through. But I just would not let go of that thing. And I can think back multiple other times in my life where I'm like, how did that happen? How did I get that? And that's all I thought about. I know for you, Sean, you are one of the most focused people that I've ever met. And you always get what you want. You just laser focus. And so I think this conversation today is going to be great. People listening in, this is a silver bullet. Like, you do what we're talking about today, you will have what you want to have. Time frame, that's up for debate. Maybe the more you focus on it, the faster you get it. But yeah, Sean, what would you add on to that?
Yeah, so it was the year was 2015, and up until that time, I was right around the age of 30, like in my early 30s, and so I didn't know like these terms: growth mindset, fixed mindset, and because where focus goes, energy flows. And talking about the topic today, you get what you think about. The times when I dissect the past, when I did get what I wanted, now that I reflect back, I'm like, oh, that's why I got what I wanted, is because that's all I focused on. And so I didn't when you understand this, you go to a different level, right? You really level up because you just do more of that, right? You focus, you're like, okay, well, this is what I want. Then let me manifest this. Let me meditate on this. And then you sleep on it. Your subconscious mind starts to work on it. And then back in 2015, when it really hit me hard, is up until that point, I had more of a fixed mindset, scarcity mindset. Got to save money, Ewan. Got to live paid. Got to go to work, put money in my bank account, put food on my table, have a roof over my head, and put money in a mutual fund. And this was, to me, knowing now, this was all fixed mindset. This is all scarcity mindset. And so in 2015, I 2 books I had come across was Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad is Robert Kiyosaki. These 2 books changed my life forever. And they are relating to what you had referenced, Brian Tracy. To me, this was what you think about is what you get, what you think about, right? Sorry. And so reading these books, one of the things I remember Robert Kiyosaki talking about was assets paying for liabilities. Well, I didn't really understand that. What is assets paying for liabilities? And so then I had found out, fast forward, that your house is not an asset because it takes money out of your pocket. Well, why am I bringing this up, right? Well, because once I learned that, I had an aha moment, because up until that moment in my entire life, my traditional conventional thinking from my parents and what society was teaching us in our schools was, remember, what you get is what you think about is what you get. Go to school, get a job, go and invest in a 401k for the next 40 years until you're dead, right? So that's what we were sold for 30 plus years, at least my generation X was. And so I had to retrain my brain, Ewan, right? From this scarcity mindset, fixed mindset, to abundance mindset. And I had to really work behind the scenes to understand what do I really want my life to look like? And there is an abundance of that. And then once I understood that assets paying for liabilities, oh, okay, so your truck's not an asset, your house is not an asset, the clothes is not assets. Assets put money in your bank account. Once I understood that, it was the complete opposite thinking of what my parents and what society was telling me, that I needed to go trade time for money, right? And so once I understood this as an entrepreneur and business owner, and I started my first business, that was my North Star. That's all I thought about was asset paying for liability.
Was it a vision in your mind? Was it a vision in your mind? You saw what the picture of you living that life was like, or was it more
it was painted clear? It was so clear. It was like a picture in my mind. Every night, every morning, every day. That's right. All I thought about. And all I did was dive deep for the last 8 years is like, okay, what does assets paying for liabilities look like? Well, assets paying for liabilities is I've removed myself, right? I'm the liability if I'm the one working in my business. If you're a business owner and entrepreneur, the way I look at it is you're a liability in the business because you're the bottleneck in the business. And so when I said, okay, well, an asset and a liability, I looked at it from a third party standpoint over 30,000 feet is the asset. I'm over here just kind of like steering the ship, right? Looking at it from 30,000 feet. The asset is the business. The asset is systems and processes, software, everything set up to pay for the liabilities, my lifestyle, right? If I want a coffee and I have a business or something that's paying for that, I remove myself because I'm not the one showing up to go work for. If I have to go work, if I have to go make a cold call, if I have to go send an email, if I have to do that, then I'm the liability in that business having to go pay for that coffee. If I have to show up for the work. So you get what you think about. I knew that my dad and my mom, love them to death, had done this for 30, 40 years. And in my mind, I manifested, I was like, I don't want to do this until I'm 60 or 70. That is not something I want to do, because you're telling me that if I sit here and think about go to school, go get a job, and work the rest of my life until I'm 60, where I can't get off my couch because I'm too tired and have no vitality, and then expect the 401k, the Roth IRA, or any investment like that which are all liabilities in my opinion, to take care of my future.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
And so that when I understood that, I saw that as a problem, Ewan. And that's why I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes as an entrepreneur and business owner to create this life. And that's all I thought about for the last 7, 8, 9 years.
I think that might be a bit of an aha moment for some business owners, entrepreneurs, or people who haven't started their business yet, because they're going to be getting to their business to build a business. And that's as far as they've thought. This is what the business would look like. This is what I would like to do. I'd like to bring this product to market. When I bring product to market, business grows and I have succeeded. But think about that for a second. But where's the vision? What is the actual vision? What are you doing? Where is your life within the business or without of the business? And if you haven't thought that process through, then you're going to find yourself working in your business. Because that's what you've done. You've not envisioned, like if you just listen to what Sean said, he constantly envisioned himself outside of his business, that was an asset paying for his liabilities. He wasn't thinking about building his business so that the business could grow. No, he's building the business so he could live the life that he wants to live. So he's constantly tweaked and shifted things to make sure that he could exit the building, literally, and have it run without him. And the stress test is, can you leave for a week? Can you leave for 2 weeks? Can you leave for a weekend? Even could you leave for a month? And does it still run? And Sean's built his businesses to where they can. But that's only because that's what you focused on over and over. And if you had just focused on being in the business, that's why, man, a lot of people we talk to, business owners, entrepreneurs, they're super scattered. Like they don't know what to do next. They're not sure what should they be working on. They think it's, well, if my marketing was just better, business would be growing. That's not what they need to be thinking about. They're not focused. They're not truly focused on what the outcomes are and what they want their life to look like. And I think you've said it so many times, and it's just clear through your language. Like the reason you have what you have is because you're so focused on what it was that you wanted. And it was a step beyond what we thought it was, right? Like what people think it is.
Yeah. In the interim, right, by having the abundance mindset, assets paying for liabilities, and everything in between, right, what that is going to force you to positive think. When you get punched in the mouth, when you get sit on your rear end, challenges, obstacles, struggles, all these things that came with starting a business. And it's like we talked about the podcast. The best university is to start your own business, right? You're going to learn so many skill sets as long as you stay in. And for me, this was a forced positive thinking every day, every morning, every evening. And then on top of that, here's an important piece. I was like, okay, to a selfish degree, I was like, assets paying for liabilities, right? I know what I want my life to look like. I've read these books, have mentors. But then there was other areas of life. This is where it gets good. In these other areas of life, I learned really quickly, I'm like, I can't do this alone. Friends, support systems, collaboration, wife, kids, community, team members. It takes a freaking army. Well, who did I have to become? It can't just be all Sean, right? Mm-hmm. Who do I have to become in these areas of life, Ewan, on a daily basis? I get just as many hours as you do during the day and during the week. Mm-hmm. But if you're listening to this, what are you doing during that hour, during that day? And so what you get is what you think about, or what you think about is what you get. And for me, every day had to be structured, positive mindset, routine, exercise. Well, why do you like exercise? And somebody asked me the other day, like at the Crawfish Bowl, they're like, I just don't understand. Why? Help me understand why you like competing, why you like exercising so much. Why do you like working out? How are you so disciplined to do this? And the first thing that came to my mind is because who do I need to become to get to where I want to go and design the life that I want to live? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
right? It's everything in between. It's the story. It's my life journey. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow, but if I go out tomorrow, God willing, like, and I have a heart attack, I want to know I laid it all on the playing field. Well, what does that look like? That looks like to me is, did I show up the optimal version of myself in every area of life? It ain't always rainbows and sunshines, but because I had this forward thinking, backwards planning on what I needed to do on a daily basis and think about, was going to set me up for the ultimate success to get to where I wanted to be, right? And this is at 100 years of age, at 150 years of age. The beautiful thing about it is there is no destination, Ewan. I just constantly think about it. And here's the byproduct. You feel good. You look good. You smell good. You show up.
How are you not going to enjoy that? Right?
Yeah.
Like, how are you not going to, and someone asking like, why do you love exercising so much? That's not a question to you why you like exercising so much. That's their reflection, their perception of life. Yeah, and it's almost a defensive move of why they don't have to, or perhaps, I don't know that conversation, or they're looking for that light to find out how they can then do it.
Yes.
Right? Because we all know exercise is good. No one says, no, I don't want the benefits of exercise. I don't want to feel good, don't have energy, don't have all that. And so the focus is so sneaky, like it's so subconscious. We'll do a lot to protect ourselves from doing things that would make us feel uncomfortable or that we don't want to do because we know what we'd have to go through it. So we don't even know where our focus is at a lot of the time. I was going to say a couple of things that you said. First off, the planner, plug for the planner, Stare It Down Method Planner. There's a full 13-page find your why, find your goals, going to walk you through it. You can plan your whole week out. DM us if you want that, and we'll send it to you for free. For now, it's free. But people, if you want to know where your time is spent, pick up your phone and swipe over to the right, and it's going to give you a breakdown of your time on your phone. If it's an iPhone, I'm not sure what it is for Android, but if you swipe over on your phone, it's going to tell you. And if you're seeing 3 hours on Facebook and 3 hours on YouTube and 3 hours on, Plants vs. Zombies, that's where your focus is. Like the phone, I'd say, is one of the kryptonites of today's success. People are so on it that it keeps pinging, and you turn and you look every time. And that's, so what is happening then when you look at something, well, you're focusing on it and it's stealing your present mindset, right? Are you thinking about your goals when you're looking at that notification? Are you thinking about your goals when you're scrolling mindlessly through Facebook? You're not thinking about what it is that you want. And it's a very practical, if there was any step here, and it's so simple, so practical to know if you're going to get to where you want to go. What are your daily habits? All right, Sean, you just talked about the weekly planner, having your day mapped out, very structured, so you can see where your focus is going. You can tell where you're going to end up in 12 months. You can just look at what you're doing today. Yep. What did you do last week? Because that's where you're going to end up in 12 months, same place. Or you'll be leveled up and you'll be living your life if you really focus in on it. And you said something, part of your deal with doing the weekly design is the positive attitude, the positive thinking. And I know a lot of people get shut off of that. I know I did at some point. Oh, positive thinking, whatever. It is one of the absolute keys. Not manifestation. I mean, it's a version of it. But when you think, well, let's take it right here. What happens when you think negatively? If you're talking negative, I can't do that, or they are always, that's not fit. I don't want to. All those statements, right? The brain doesn't. We're saying that logically and currently out of our mouth, but the brain can't process that those things are seeping into your subconscious, right? Like when you think you can't do something, you can't. Right. How can you do something when you say I can't do it? The only shot you have is saying, I can do it. I will do it. I'm doing it. Even if you don't believe you can, but you say the words. And here's the thing Brian Tracy used to say, he would say, if you think you can't do something, say it, I can do it. I can do it. Over and over, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Say it 100 times. You will start doing that thing that you just said you couldn't do, right? Like if your laundry's been sitting there for a week and you're not hung it up, if you just think about, I can hang that up. I can fold those clothes. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. The dishes. I can do it. I can call that customer. I can do it. I can do it. You do it because that's all you focused on. It's so simple. It's so simple, but we don't do that, right? Sorry, you were going to say something there.
Yeah. Well, when I think about that, it's like if somebody's thinking is like, okay, yeah, I can do it, right? I can do it. I can go run a marathon. I can go do a competition. I can go start a business. And then you go and do it, then you fail, right? And you're like, oh, then you don't pick your, and so you don't, self-doubt starts creeping in, imposter syndrome starts creeping in. And so what I would encourage listeners to do is if, entrepreneurs and business owners and something they want to do is like, I can do it, or I can't, if that negative self-talk is within and it's powerful, right? And sometimes it can be very scary. I cannot do it yet, yet.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a powerful statement is versus I can't do it yet.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. And you could just keep following on with that. Like, I can do it, and it doesn't happen. And then you said the self-doubt creeps in. You say, no, I can do it. I can do it. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to do this. I can do that. I can do that. I can do, I didn't get the result I wanted, but I can do it. I can do it. Right. Yep. So what else do I need? Okay. A coach. I need a mentor. I need a book. I need a course. I need more information. I can do it. I can. If you just keep doing that, like you said, yet is the perfect word. And a lot of people say, well, what if? Like, what if is one of the most dangerous statements you can make, because it leaves you with an ultimatum. Do or die. Well, what if this happens? Disaster. What if this happens? I'm not going to take action on that because I can't. And the key words here, I learned this a while ago, and it really helps. Even if that happens, well, I'll just do this. Even if that happens, well, I could do that. It gives you an out. It gives you then I will do this, right? A lot of people thinking what ifs, it leaves you just hanging and you don't take action. And so focusing on what it is that you want and knowing that it can be done, just a matter of yet. And even if the outcome is not what you want, well, then you can do this. You can do that, right? And this is all thought language in your mind, but that's all we have. That's all we have is the thought and the conversation in our heads. That's how reality is produced out here in the real world, is through thought coming into action. And so we're talking about, when we're focused here, it's about taking action. And man, that's what you deal with, most with a lot of your coaching clients. Like, would you say that what is holding them up from taking that action? Why are they lost, stuck? Can you speak to that? Like, if you were to tie in focus?
Yeah, because a lot of times when we get lost and stuck and unfulfilled and in that rut of life, right? A lot of times what I have found is that it's because we typically don't have the big enough why, right? The emotional compelling nature. And so we've said the what, right? It's like, what do you want? And so what you think about is what you I always get this statement messed up. You get what you think about. Focus, right?
You get what you think about.
You get what you think about. And so when I think about that statement, it's fixed versus growth. It's abundance versus scarcity mindset. And then to align this category of you get what you think about, abundance, growth mindset, is you have to know what you want, right? And a lot of times we know what we want in life. Right? I want a house. I want a car. I want a business. I want to look better. I want to feel better. That's the what. But this is the step we miss is the why. Is
the emotional connection.
The emotional connection. That's the miss from my experience with coaching clients. And if they do have the why, right, then typically it's just something, a different perspective, right? That's where coaching helps, is a different perspective, a different lens. But majority of the time, there's not a sustainable reason on why I want to continue this nutrition, why I want to continue this marathon. Why does Ewan want to do a sub-4 marathon and you hit it, right? Why does Sean want to hit his pace and hit a 3:36 sub marathon? And so the point is because what you get what you think about. And so if that's all you're thinking about, and then on top of that, that's what I want, then the why has to be so strong behind it. And here's the thing. Here's the key ingredient. You can't just do the day of, right? Like the day of, I want this podcast to go well. I want this to land with our listeners, right? And so it has to manifest, from my experience, over time. This has been a month, year after year process.
Today is the first day of me getting to where I'm going to go.
Exactly. And so it's just constantly just 1%, 0.01%, because that's what we think about. Well, why? Because of what we want to do here at Level Up and Live: serve, impact, help entrepreneurs, business owners, right? Work on their business, not in their business, and help in that journey of becoming the optimal version of yourself, which is everything that we're talking about. You get what you think about. And so if you're not thinking about these things, if you're just focusing on, I got to send that email, Ewan, I got to make that phone call, I got to make that sales call, I got to enter that. Oh, I made a phone call to a customer, I got to enter into the K1 lead or whatever you call it, right? If that's what you're focusing on, and you're not focusing on the bigger picture, you know where that leads. Burnt out, not sustainable, throw in the towel, I'm out.
Yes, that stuff will always be there, because that's the minutia of what you do every day. But if you're not focused on the overarching outcome, the goal,
right?
Well, then what do you have? You just have this robotic thing that you have to do every day, and it's soulless, lifeless, and there's going nowhere. There's no purpose behind it, and it just doesn't drive you to push through, because it will get tough. That's life is not set up to give you whatever you want, right? Life has got a lot of resistance, and the resistance comes from us, right? We're human beings, want to be comfortable. Brain's trying to keep us comfortable. Taking action, doing things to get to goals takes energy and effort, and the brain doesn't want to expend that glucose, right? It's trying to protect you at all costs. Business owner, baby, right? A baby. It's all the same. It's all survival kind of instincts. And so, it's just that vital to. And if there was a silver bullet of the silver bullet, right? The silver bullet is focus on what you want, right? Yeah. And don't let up, and you will have it. It might be 3 years, 5 years. You gotta commit to that. That's what you want. That's why the why is so important. But to speed that process up, environment. Your environment is what you will focus on, right? If you have lots of candy laying around your house, what are you going to be eating? Candy. If you have a lot of fruit laying around your house, you're going to be eating a lot of fruit. If you want to be successful in business, environment. Hang around a bunch of successful business owners. You're going to be hearing what they're talking about. It's going to become normal. All the things, the hard things they're doing. Get in a mastermind group, get coaching, hear the words, let it come into your mind that this is normal. This isn't take a lot of energy for me. This is what I do, and I love it because it's taking me towards my why. So hang around the people who are doing the things that you want, and that speed your focus concept all the way up.
Man, I think that's a mic drop moment, because I couldn't agree with you more. Out of everything that we've talked about the last 25 minutes, I feel that's the most important piece, is surrounding yourself like you are the product of the environment that you're in. And I couldn't agree with you more on that, man. And that's, like you said, in the kitchen, whether that's nutrition, the snacks, the donuts, or the bananas, the apples, and then also in business settings, right? And it's like, and then in fitness as well as exercise. If you're not exercising and you're not doing these different things, then if you look at, I'll end it with this. If you look at a scale, the way I look at it is you have a scale of 1 to 100, right? And so in these different areas of life. And so we're imperfect human beings, right? So we'll never be at 100. But the way I look at it is, if I'm at a 70 in my fitness, and then I bump up to a 75 because I'm working on different quality workouts, I'm not working on grinding myself out, and then I'm working on fueling myself. Now I'm at a 75, right? There's some room for improvement. But then I have a setback, right? Because something happens. I get sick. So I get the flu, or I'm getting sick multiple times a year. Well, why? Because of stress and anxiety. So I need to focus on that. Well, why am I getting sick multiple times a year? Because then that is setting me back from exercising. So my point here is, not only you get what you think about, but where focus goes, energy flows, right? And so in order to all these things in these different areas of life, is you don't have to sit here and do these 100 different things and overwhelm yourself every single day. Everything just needs to be kind of looked at, right? Whether that's, for me, I look at it once a week. And like you said, on the weekly planner, DM us if you're interested in that planner. It's free for now. That's what I live by, because it has all my visualization. It has all my goals. It has all the different areas of life. And without that, then the minutia of life is going to get to me. It's going to get the better half of me, right? The better part of me. And life's just going to show up. I'm going to get pulled toward what the universe wants me to do for them, right? Friends, family, community, business, team members, all these other things. I have to be able to, if I'm not spending an hour a week, Ewan, on what it is that Sean wants his life to look like, his week to look like. If you're a business owner, an entrepreneur that is experiencing that right now, that you're sitting here responding to customers' emails, responding to employees, responding to team members, your spouse, your friends, your family, and everybody else, and not yourself, DM me because we need to talk.
100%.
I can tell you right now, we can help you. We can help you because that was me. There is hope, and it's a beautiful thing when you understand this and what we're talking about. That's my final word.
I'm going to say level up and live on that right there.
Level up and live, baby.
Love it, brother.
Let's go. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Level Up and Live podcast. If you've enjoyed our discussion on the power of thoughts and manifestation, be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more enlightening conversations. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok for behind-the-scenes content. And don't forget to share this episode with a friend who's ready to manifest their dreams into reality. Until next time, remember that you are the creator of your reality. So choose your thoughts wisely and watch your life transform. Level up and live.